But what I do want to speak about just really quickly, you're going to be finding people who are few and far between that are as bullish on AI as I am. Google is going to get destroyed. Now, what I will say is, this is just my prediction, is that their revenue is going to be fine this quarter. It's not going to touch them at all. But if they are guiding, they are going to know that there's going to be margin compression here. And I'd look out for any guidance going forward, because they are going to know that search engine being 60% of their earnings is going to see margin compression, not because everyone's jumping over to ChatGPT, but because like maybe Google AI is perfect. Okay. Maybe it's amazing, but still that requires Google to give you the answer the first time that you search rather than the sixth time that you search. And that is going to be massive margin compression, even if they still own the space. Even if people don't go over to Bing, they're going to hurt themselves just to compete.
Well, why would they even release it then if they're going to ruin their business? Why wouldn't they just?
Because then people are going to go to Bing. If
because of Bing's AI is what you're saying.
Yeah, rock in a hard place, right? Either they keep market space by not evolving. Like Google's great. They have perfect ad tech, the best in the entire world, essentially. I mean, Facebook's pretty good as well, but I would say Google probably has the best ad tech in the world. And then, but you still need multiple searches to continue to service ads or serve ads. If they are going to give you your answer first time, and I don't know, I can't see.
Tannor, let me ask you a question real quick. Do you think that applies to YouTube or only Google, the search engine? Because YouTube, I feel like
YouTube was light last quarter, wasn't it?
No, I'm not even talking about the revenue. It was light, but I'm talking more about the sort of philosophical argument about search. Like YouTube, I don't think I would ask a Google AI to get me a video. I think I would want to see multiple thumbnails and titles always.
But the thing is I think YouTube will actually grow due to AI. I think it'll allow a lot more people in the creator space, just because things like, scripting right now is a possibility. People can have access to that with ChatGPT 4 and future products that multiple companies are making. Facebook has their own AI. Google is coming out with their own AI. There's a ton of companies with really, really compelling offers that are going to allow for video editing, fake face profiles, everything along these lines. So this could be a lot more content coming out in the future. That's going to bode well for YouTube. I still think they're going to be the largest platform, right? I don't think that AI.
But do you think YouTube search get disrupted? Because YouTube's the second biggest search engine. Do you think that gets disrupted by some?
It could be the biggest. What I'm saying is Google still runs 60% of their business through Google search. YouTube is a small portion of their business, and you cannot buy the stock based on a 25% portion of their revenue, right? You need to focus on the main part. So this is even like SoFi, for example. You cannot focus on just the tech platform or the financial services. Lending is still the majority aspect of the company. You need to focus on that. So Google search, I think, is going to be a massive compression on their earnings, and they know it, and they're not going to lie about it. They're also probably going to guide for a much lower take rate. It's going to sweep through very quickly. I see, my parents and their friends talking about ChatGPT. You don't think whenever Bing starts coming out with that they're going to start sending links going, wow, you only need to ask once, rather than like you see it all the time. I don't even know how, like this term, I wouldn't even know how to ask Google this question. How do I answer this? ChatGPT will assume what you want, what you want to answer. And Google AI will also do that too. I'm not saying that they're immune to it, but there's going to be less searches.
Yeah, man. Okay.
Do you agree with that, Tevis? Do you agree with Tannor's analysis?
Slightly different take. I agree on the power of ChatGPT. I think there's a negative brand association with Bing, and also ChatGPT is this really, it's like a Ferrari engine on a freaking, whatever, like a like used car, it's amazing. Everything around it is complete crap because it's all like Microsoft products. Like there's no user experience at all. It's a horrible, there's a reason why the majority of people use Chrome. And from accuracy of search perspective, I think to the average person, that's less important than that overall user experience in Googling something. And so I just think that if ChatGPT was introduced in a net new Microsoft product as the this new thing, like a new search engine, then sure. But ChatGPT in Bing, like I can just try to access ChatGPT on my own on Google Chrome. Like I just think that there will be a natural resistance for average people to go back to Bing, because there was a reason that they left Bing in the first place, because it's just a horrible sort of user experience. I guess that's my only contrarian take. With regards to the earnings,
don't you think if people use Google Google search to get to ChatGPT, that's similarly to the effect that what's happening on Bing is that the number one search result is Google? You know what I mean? So like, even if people are doing one search to go to ChatGPT on Google as their primary search engine, that's still only one search when the reality of it is they need like 6. And that's the problem. It's really going to just get people the answers faster, and that is the compression. Even if Google AI, like some people in the chat saying ChatGPT isn't impressive, I'm not saying it is, right? Versus the competitors and everything like this, there is going to be lots of competition, but that does not bode well for Google's current results or current search engine that is very, very dumb, and they know it's dumb. I'm not saying they couldn't improve it, but they don't want to improve it because then it's going to lead to less search results. That's the problem.
Yeah, so I'll meet you halfway, and I'll say that the adoption is like ChatGPT is definitely a push in that direction. Hey, Riley, but the adoption is really dependent on the execution. And I just fundamentally, I guess, maybe this is just, some baggage.
Talking about ChatGPT.
Yeah, maybe this is some baggage I need to work through, but I just fundamentally have a distrust of Microsoft products from a user experience perspective. So it's going to be based on the execution.
Well, let me ask you this question. The analysts, they're obviously going to ask about ChatGPT on the call. And how do you think, Tannor, how do you think Google answers this question? Let's say I'm an analyst and I'm pressing them on like, hey, eventually, if AI becomes as good as we think it is, which it seems pretty obvious, we don't need advertising around search results with user-generated content around SEO and blogs, because we don't need that stuff. The AI knows it. How would Google monetize that at the level of scale that they are at? Do they charge $5 per month? Obviously, that's really bad for a lot of consumers. That just, so how do you think we get around this?
It'll be free because the competition is so ripe that someone will offer it for free, and then they will own the space. That is capitalism, right? Like that's why prices don't always
monetize the same way that they're monetizing, dude. It's the same exact way. It's just instead of it being reactive, it's now proactive in terms of you asking for something. Like you got to understand.
How are you going to show ads within that?
Yeah,
when you ask it a question,
to be generating the ads, because that's going to be scary. Like where you have an automated,
scary,
an AI chatbot that you like over
Dude,
time.
You guys gotta like get your head around this AI thing, man. Like it's not like
I'm just saying
it's just a model that's based on data. Google has the most data in the world. They can just build a model, and instead of you asking it like, what is SoFi's, you can just ask it in question form, and it'll spit you the exact same thing with the ads, with everything that's embedded in the
I just don't want it to be like. Also, try the new try this new like weight loss program right under.
No, look. I think. Hold on. I think Riley has a point here, because if I say best intermittent fasting tools, and then I ask AI, how do I properly do intermittent fasting? I mean, when I type that in the current Google, before I get the answer, I get like a link that is sponsored that leads you to some guy who's selling nutrition products. He wrote some blog post to generate traffic, all that stuff. If Google gives me the answer, his blog is worthless. So how do they even show the link of check out Mike's nutrition on intermittent fasting supplements? Like, how do you incorporate that into it? And also, doesn't that ruin the experience of actually getting it?
So the problem is that people look at ChatGPT and think it's going to be in this chat window like experience. It's going to be Google search the way it is, except it's just going to be much smarter. You're going to have the banner ads. You're going to have sponsored content that is written. There's going to be links to, different advertising. It's just the problem is that that's only going to be served one time. That's the only difference. I have no problems with the ability to actually advertise what Google AI is going to do. That will happen. It's just the amount of times that they need that to happen is either they're going to have to ask for a higher take rate, but then people are going to go elsewhere, right? If Google says, hey, we're going to increase the actual take rate on our advertising dollars, then people are going to go, okay, well, I'll advertise on Facebook instead. I'll advertise on Twitter instead. I'll advertise on these places that give me higher click-through rates.
And let me add just one more point onto that. People have a negative connotation or negative association with ads because they think of non-relevant ads. But if ads are curated and relevant to you, that's product discovery. Like you can find new things for yourself to buy. And so I think that that's also built into the model of saying, like, if I'm searching for something and I find a YouTube video of a content creator that I like, and he's promoting something that is relevant to what I'm searching for, then I'm going to be much more likely. And this is why you see all of these, like, influencer marketing is actually a thing these days because of that association. And so I think relevancy is a key important factor, and that's based on data.
Okay.
Who knows? Whenever we're already only seeing one version of this yeah, so like we're only seeing one version of this AI thing. There's going to be so many competitors. It's going to get so much smarter than we think, right? Like ChatGPT 4 is expected this year, potentially even the first half of this year. That's going to not only be 560 times stronger because it's going to have more nodes across the internet, 560 times more, but then also be a multimodal system, meaning you can throw in images, PDFs, videos, and then prompt it for what you want to do.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
So,
oh my gosh.
So that's coming this year. So, and then you have people like Meta who are building supercomputers with NVIDIA, 6,100 graphics cards and 6,000 of them, the strongest supercomputer in the world. And the head of AI is saying ChatGPT isn't impressive.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you think this will not affect Google's shit search results? Like, it is terrible. Yeah. Okay. And they know it. It's built to be crap. So then you have to prompt it multiple times because that increases revenue. Imagine if Robinhood, if you could do all of your purchases on Robinhood in a single transaction versus multiple transactions. They want a ton of tiny transactions because that increases revenue. If someone comes out with a system where you could buy all your stocks, somehow make it all under one transaction, that's going to hurt Robinhood's business. And you're seeing that compression at Google. And yeah, I'm just big AI though, so I'm a little too bullish. I'm the Riley of SoFi right now.
So you don't own Google, Tanner? You don't own Google?
No, I would not touch it at all. Massive compression.
I agree. Well, so here's sort of my take. I think that there will be in 2023 and especially in 2024 a bifurcation in terms of the FANGs, in terms of, some of them are going to be really, really well as disruptors and some of them are going to start to fall off. I just think that Google is not going to let themselves become disrupted. They might still get disrupted, but they're going to do something in the process as a response to that. They're not just going to be like, oh, like whatever, this is the current paradigm, because they already have all of that data. And so now it's just like, well, feed all that data into the model. And then all of a sudden you have your own competitor to ChatGPT or to, Facebook or Meta's alternative. And so I just think that they have the money, they have the resources, and they have the data. So I find it hard to believe that they're going to let themselves be disrupted so easily within a year of this new AI coming out. Like, AI is not a revolutionary thing. It's been on people's minds for the last decade. We're just now starting to see it materialize.
Yeah, but the problem is that, like I said, they could be still the dominant force in AI. That's going to hurt their earnings. Like, even if they are the number one, they're going to make less. It's like, even if TD Bank, back whenever they used to charge $10 or $15 per trade, even if they're still the biggest trading platform, if they're charging free commission trades, that's less. You know what I mean? So that is pretty much the revolution that we're going to see here. It's going to be less per user, regardless of user base.